Hello, my friends. We are back.
Don't mind the obnoxious noise in the background. That's in the moving trees.
Yeah, we had some tree trimmers. The highway department came through a few weeks ago and
Chop down some trees.
chopped down some tree limbs for the power lines. So they're back now, finally, to get the limbs
After
up.
like half a month.
That's about a half month. It was about a month, wasn't it?
Almost.
A month. Finally come getting their freaking limbs out of my damn yard.
And they're loud as hell.
Yeah, they're loud, but I can be louder.
But I'm louder!
Yeah, so I see. He's louder too. Anyway,
Oh, I'm done out with music.
as you're aware, as we go to episode 19, this is my life story through poetry. Just to kind of remind everybody that's keeping up and kind of follow along. My life story through poetry.
Random potato.
It's a random potato. Anyway.
Anyway, moving on.
Let's get back. Stop distracting me. God dang. Anyway,
As you can tell, we're full of energy.
this is
today.
episode 19. In chapter 4, looks like it's going to be a very short chapter, only 3 episodes for chapter 4. And then when we do the second episode after this one, it'd be the beginning of chapter 5. So we're moving right along. Like I said, we got on my Facebook post, I said we have 16 chapters overall, 16 of them. So we got a little bit to go. But I hope you are enjoying the story as I go through. Mainly the poetry. This one here is quite interesting. We're fixing to cover. I'm sitting at the home at my grandmother's house. That's where I stayed most of the time when I was between 18 and 22, 23. I'd be back and forth, go here, come back, go here, come back, go here, come back. I was never really ready to settle down. I tried. I made attempts. I just wasn't prepared. One time, she had a grandfather clock, and I was just sitting there, and I was listening to his clock. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And that's what I was doing. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And I was watching the pendulum. And so, knowing me, my imagination, what are you doing now? Will you stop? The toothpicks. Crazy person. So I'm sitting there, and I started tapping my fingers. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. I made a little song out of it. I made a little tune. Then I started tapping my feet. Tick tock, tick tock. And I got into it, you know. But I'm by myself. I had nothing better to do. So I was listening to the grandfather clock and making my own little band out of it, you know. Then someone knocked on the door. I was like, you know, who's that? At first, you know, I was kind of startled, and I sat back down. I answered the door. They heard a bunch of commotion and asked what was going on. And I said I was just being silly. I was just goofing off. I was bored. Oh, okay. And a very cautious response. Of course, I think it was like a sales rep or something. They told them we weren't interested, and they left cautiously. Because I was up dancing. I was dancing to the beat of the clock. You know, it just drove me nuts. Just to the clock. It drove you crazy. It drove me nuts. Then I went to sit back down. Then I went to close the door, and they left. And then I started putting a poem together to the beat of the clock. And after I got tired of being goofy and being stupid and being silly, and like a complete imbecile, a complete nutcase, lunatic, psychotic, I wrote this poem. And this is what transpired for me just sitting on a couch, listening to the grandfather clock. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I did enjoy writing it. The beat of the clock is the name of this poem. Tick tock, tick tock. First your feet start tapping. Then your fingers start snapping. Your mind starts a musical number. And then you start dancing. You're looking rather silly. And you start to really jamming. You're now shaking the house. Stop. You got company now. They asked what you were doing. You replied, I was dancing to the beat of the clock. Tick tock, tick tock. Then we all get quiet, listen, observe, and catch the rhythm. We all start tapping and snapping, dancing really funny and looking rather silly, jamming and slamming to the beat of the crazy old clock. Watch yourself, be careful, beware. You might catch yourself alone and bored, and then you start listening to the clock. Now you start dancing rhythmically to the beat of the crazy, slamming jam session of your own created by the clock. Tick tock, tick tock. Like that one? That's just responsible about everything.
Like a caveman.
He's like a caveman. He stays in his cave back there. Every time I try to, I ask him something or something, this is what I get in return. I say, yeah, can you get these dishes done? Yeah, and do your laundry? Your laundry finished up? What are you, a caveman? Well, he does live in a cave out there. It's his man cave in the garage. Got all.
That's my abode.
That's it. That's his abode, and he doesn't want to come out of his abode.
It's my dragon's lair.
That's his dragon's lair.
There's a lot of random shit in there.
There's a lot of random shit in there. Yes.
Mainly Star Wars, but you know.
Well, anyway, I would eventually make another venture out of my grandma's house, and my dad had a trailer over there in the Bryan area, and he had to go somewhere, move somewhere. He couldn't stay there. His job took him somewhere else, but he didn't want to lose the trailer. So me and my sister moved into the trailer to try to take care of the trailer. But before then, he was still there, so I went over there and started living over there. It was a few weeks after, or a few months after, I moved in over there with the trailer, because I know he was getting ready to leave, getting ready to move out, but he was still there. I met one of my sister's friends. Her name was Heather. And this is my next sexual encounter. I was 20, 21. She was like 17, 18. She was very pretty, a real pretty girl, but she liked to play games, you know, and I don't like games. The first night, you know, I met her, and she'd been drinking, and she got a little tipsy, and went to my room that I was staying in, had sex in the bed, got up and talked for a little bit, and then did it again. But She said she didn't want a relationship, but deep down inside, I think she did. Because she kept testing me to see what I really wanted. And I didn't really like that. And we done it in all different places. We done it in my car, in the back behind buildings, out by the park. But she was really kind of her mother was in the hospital, I think, and her dad, she was staying with her dad and her younger sister. She was about 13, 14. Her sister was younger. And she just broke up with this one dude. And like I said, she'd get frisky, act like she wanted to do it, and then she decided she didn't want to do it. And then decided she wanted to just be friends, and then decided she didn't want to be friends.
Basically, she was confused.
She was confused. She didn't know what she wanted. And,
probably just needed companionship.
Yeah, and
it's a hard thing to give sometimes.
Yeah, especially when you play games with somebody that's wanting a relationship, that's wanting to settle down. Something funny happened with her dad, though. She told me some funny stories that happened with her dad. She said her dad had a house, had a big wide window, and the curtain kind of pulled back sometimes, just a little bit. And one night he caught his neighbor eavesdropping on him while he was in his robe. This is funny, by the way. But he was in his robe, and he saw her one day with a pair of binoculars. Yes, I kid you not. She had a pair of binoculars, and she was watching him through his little shade that were open. So he decided one day, while he was in a robe, that he would spread the curtains up a little bit more. He got in front of the mirror, opened his robe, and just started dancing like butt naked. He said, as soon as he done that, the curtains over his neighbor's house went shut immediately. And he never had a problem with it ever again. That was the last time she ever eavesdropped on him, ever spied on him. But that was the only funny story I got from her. But yeah, we went to the mall together, went to a bowling alley together, went to the movies together. We basically went to my mom's together. One time she got stupid. I don't know why she did this. But I was driving to Searcy from Benton, O'Brien, and she grabbed the steering wheel on the freeway. Thank God there was a ramp, an off ramp over there, because I wasn't expecting her to just grab the steering wheel. She did that out of spite. She was goofing off. She was being silly, but that's not silly. That could have caused a major wreck. But thankfully, I was able to maintain control of the vehicle. Just went off the off ramp, and went back on the other on ramp. I said, "What the hell are you doing, crazy person?" She thought it was funny. That's not funny to me. You could have called. You could have flipped us. Well, she didn't expect my hand to be that loose on. She thought I had gripped the steering wheel, and she didn't realize I was just barely hanging on to it. So when she yanked it, it surprised her. She didn't realize. She thought I had a hold of it.
Like she's on like grandma. Oh look, steers that way. Oh look, steers that way.
Yeah, their grandma. She does that. When she looks a certain way, she turns that certain way. She can't look and then drive straight. When she looks somewhere,
it's terrifying when she's driving on a cliff.
She looks in that direction.
Grandma, stare straight. Grandma, whatever you do, stare straight.
Stir straight.
Don't look at it.
Don't look at it.
What's that? I don't care what it is. Just stare straight.
But anyway.
It's a UFO. Doesn't matter. Stare straight.
Anyway, I got tired of the games. I got tired of being jerked around by my emotions, and I finally told her off and said, I can't do this anymore. Either you want a relationship with me or you don't. And like I said, deep down inside, she wanted a relationship. So when I told her that, she's like, well, shit. You know, because she liked me, you know. She really liked me. She wanted a relationship with me. But she didn't say nothing. She just wanted to see how far she can play. She was, like I said, like Jacob said, she was confused. She didn't want to know what she wanted. But she did want someone to take care of her and be good to her. But I didn't get time for games. I didn't have time for it. So I broke it off with her. Anyway, the story continues. My dad eventually moved out of the trailer. And me and my sister eventually took over the trailer. And we started to take control of the trailer. And we figured between the two of us, we could pay the bills with the jobs that we had. We could take care of the bills, and Dad wouldn't lose his trailer. So we tried, knowing damn well we probably couldn't do it. We weren't going to survive, but we tried.
It's all right. It counts.
It's all that counts. We tried. We did our best. Well, eventually, Sherry, she would move back out, and then Amy would move back, and then Amy would move in with her boyfriend. And this is when I met Amy's boyfriend's friend's wife. Yeah, I shouldn't have done this. This was my fault. I shouldn't have done it.
But shit happens.
I was lonely, horny.
Shit happens.
And shit happens. And she kind of threw herself at me. She kind of threw herself at me because I went over there to visit one day. Me and Kenny was the guy's name. Went over there to visit his friend and her family. And she had cooked him some dinner and he wouldn't eat it. And she asked me if I wanted to eat it. I said, yeah, sure, I'll eat it. So I sat there and ate her food. When her husband would not do it. Her husband was pretty much ignoring her. He wasn't being kind to her. He wasn't being nice to her. He was just kind of putting her off. And,
so being a dickhead.
He was being a dickhead. And I was nice. And that's what turned her on, I guess. So she came over to the house one day, and she, like I said, basically threw herself at me, and I didn't say no.
I'm like, sure, have fun.
I went to my room, and there it was. And we got it on with each other. And of course, this is coming upon summer. It's coming upon the summer months. And before this, though, before I met her, though, I was at a Greg's house for New Year's Eve. You know, so I was lonely. I was single, and it was one of the best New Year's Eves I ever had. And I'm just going to be a poem about her later on. A few pages on down the line here. It's going to be a poem about her. But her name was Nikki. So I met Nikki first before I met Sandy. And we went down on New Year's Eve. Like I said, all my New Year's Eves were mainly spent by myself, spent alone. I didn't have much on a New Year's Eve. My New Year's Eve was listening to the year-end countdown of the best music and recording some songs on the radio on cassette player. That was my New Year's Eve. So that's how I spent my New Year's Eves. And he wanted to hook me up with a date, and a little double date. We went down there to his girlfriend's house. Her parents were asleep, as just us. We're sitting there watching a movie. Of course, he's sitting over there. He has the pillow up. Of course, she's got his head down his lap. Just use your imagination what she was doing. And I was sitting on the floor there.
You're choking on a sausage.
You know, I was sitting on the floor in front of Nikki. Nikki was her name. And she was kind of leaned forward, and she had her hand on my chest and had her head on mine. And we were sitting there watching movies. And I had my arms draped across the legs. I had her legs around me. And before I left that night, of course, Greg and his woman went to went to the side, and I gave Nikki a big strong kiss. And I didn't think my kiss was that strong. To tell you the truth, I didn't think I was that. I don't consider myself an attractive person. I really don't. And for her to sit there and to get weak in the knees and about fall out and pass out because I kissed her, I was like, wow, she's into me, you know. But she was only 17, and she had some strict parents, and the only reason she was over there because that was her friend, and there was no guys, wasn't supposed to be any guys there. Wasn't supposed to be any guys there. And that was part of the stipulation. She wasn't supposed to be around. She didn't have a whole lot of freedom. And I'll explain more in detail as we get to the next episode. But anyway, she didn't have a whole lot of freedom. Matter of fact, as I was getting ready to leave, she whispered from the garage door, and she was singing about, says, "I want you." And I could have went inside and had sex with her, but I didn't. I could have, but that's how strong. That's how much she wanted it. But we did go back over the next day, though. And we sat there and played Monopoly. And we sat there and we couldn't let the parents know what was done. We had our hands under the table, holding hands with each other.
You could be doing something else.
She had her hand on my leg, and I had my hand on her leg, and we were sitting there kind of touching each other under the table. And we were trying to play Monopoly. And of course, Greg and his woman was on the other side. Of course, they won. They kicked our ass. So it was too much. We was concentrating too much on each other. We weren't really paying attention to the game. So it was really an enjoyable New Year's weekend. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it was one of the best ones I had up to that point. It was one of the better ones that I had. But we're coming upon it was like when I came back home. It was during this. It was coming upon summer after New Year's, and we started writing letters back and forth with each other.
Romeo.
We wrote letters back to each other about 2 or 3 months. One summer day at home alone, I reflected back on the relationships that I had encountered, including her and Myrna and Julie, Trish. Okay, I try to reminisce, kind of think back the lessons I learned, the feelings that ran rampant. I was tired and bored. I was laying on the couch. I had just finished a day's work. I was doing lawn maintenance, lawn care. Closing my eyes, I began to dream. When I fell asleep, I kind of dozed off. Quite quickly, by the way. I was tired. And when I woke up, I tried to put together the pieces of the dream I had. I had a little dream into a poem. And the poem was called Just a Dream. And this is what I came up with. Of course, it's not very long, but it's to the point, and it conveys a real stern message, a real good message. It's got a lot of meaning into it. Like I said, this is from a dream I had, actually. And this is what I pieced together bits and pieces of the dream. And the poem is, of course, it's titled Just a Dream. There's a man lying down in the middle of a field, resting peacefully in relaxation as he closes his weary eyes. Suddenly, a woman would appear as she would lie down next to him. Her touch is soft and warm as he holds her close and tight. There would become a strange ringing as I awake. I'm on the couch. I was dreaming as I slowly sit up, and I feel relaxed and at ease. Not through with my dream, I would lie back down. I return to where I met her as I lovingly embrace her. Turning to look back, I'm still lying on the couch. The thought processes are telling me it's just a dream. It's just a dream.
But all dreams have meaning.
And it's going to be a short episode because that's the end of chapter 4. We're going to wrap this up here. Probably get about 30 minutes out of this one because that's a short episode. Chapter 5 is going to be a doorway to love. So for those that are keeping up, I will start chapter 5, Just a Dream, episode 19, Doorway to Love. As I've done before, when I change from chapter to chapter, from episode to episode,
Title it.
I'll give the title of the.
We double title it.
I double title it. I'll give the title of the episode we just got through with,
And the new.
and the chapter we are started, which is going to be Doorway to Love. So, with that being said, let's see you in a little bit. Take care.